Copper wealth in Tibet. Copper wealth in Tibet. Copper wealth in China. Copper wealth around the globe. Copper wealth in India. India copper import. India copper import. So copper is one of the metal that is heavily used in electrical engineering. Okay, so electrical engineering and electronics engineering. So copper is heavily used. So copper and kind of in electrical engineering, mica is also used. So copper is kind of a metal that is abundant in Tibet. Okay, so in 1949, the People's Liberation Army in China, means China Communist Party, came into the picture, and in 1951 they started marching Tibet, considering there is no retroaction, considering being a barren land with no opposition, no hit back. So they started marching Tibet in 1951, and they started marching Kashi region, that is Xinjiang, since 1949 only. So because they consider Himalayan region, either it is a Taklamakan desert or Tibet plateau, it is kind of empty land. There is no army, there is nothing, it does not belong to anyone. So it was kind of a cakewalk for them. So this is what the Indian history post 1947. So Indian army, though so that not Indian army, Chinese army, Chinese Liberation Army, they marched Tibet in 1951 and they controlled Tibet completely in 1959. And what happened after that? That how people they hope, how how hundreds and thousands, means people, means you can say thousands and thousands of people, they died in Tibet saving their territory. Means a country of no help. Means if you have a weak neighbor also, he helps you. In bad time, if you have bad neighbor also, he helps you. But Tibet, no one could help them. So thousands and thousands of people, there was a bloodbath in Tibet from 1951 to 1959, whatever. Now we are talking about the copper deposition in Tibet. So Julong, I believe that is the name, that is kind of Julong. Julong is a mine, copper mine, that is open mine, not the underneath or underground mine. It's an open mine. So the Lhasa is the capital of Tibet region now. Tibet was a separate country falls in Indian subcontinent. Tibet was an independent country. I would say Tibet is an independent country. Means to our heart, Tibet is an independent country. Balochistan is an independent country. But anyway, reality is reality. Just from heart, thing does not work. Okay. So practical is more powerful than theory. Always. Empirical result is always powerful than theoretical result, because that only comes into the picture. So the Tibet region of China, now that is the definition. So Tibet region of China produce, if Lhasa is the capital, if you go east to the Lhasa, that is around 60 kilometers from the Lhasa, you will see copper color mountains. Amazing, right? Means I believe that there should not be any extraction there, and it should remain as it is so that we can also see copper color mountain. Okay, in Karnataka there is a place called Kolar. So near to Kolar there is a Kolar gold field. I have personally visited Kolar, and if you visit Kolar, Then there are mountains in Kolar, and they look like gold. If you see the mountains near Kolar, they look like gold mountain. But you have to see very closely. Means open with just a kind of a cursory eye, probably it may not look. But if you see with little concentration, they they are different. They look like golden mountains. Okay, it's different. I mean, someone can visit Kolar, and if you see the mountains out there, even though the Kolar goldfield also I have visited, and there are mountains of dynamite. I mean, the way they have done dynamite explosion, there are mountains of dynamite in Kolar goldfield. You will see mountain like Himalaya. Those are not the natural mountain, that is RDX mountain. So it is a kind of underground mining that has happened for the gold. But from Kolar gold field, okay, that is the Bangarpet area. So from there, if you go to Kolar area, Kolar is a town and it is a district headquarters. And it used to be very big district earlier, Kolar district. So if you go to Kolar town, this is a very small town. And from there, if you see around, there are natural mountain hills. They look like gold mountain. Amazing, right? Means you can see it. And probably it may not come in photograph because concentration of gold is very low. So that's why it is there still. But it looks like gold mountain. So if you visit 60 kilometer east to Lhasa, okay, Julong and copper mine, there are copper mountains. And if you take picture, if you search in the net and internet, and if you see those mountains, they look like copper mountains. So they are copper mountains. So it is open mining there in Zulong, and that is supposed to be the second largest copper extraction in China. If we see the copper extraction worldwide, then Chile or Chile. Chile comes first. Second is Peru. And in third spot, China and Congo in Africa, they compete with each other. So till 2022, China was the third producer of the copper. Okay, in China, the one-sixth of the copper is being extracted from Tibet. Okay, so worldwide around 16,000 kiloton, 16,000 kilo, 16,000 tons, 16,000 metric. This is the better word. 16,000 metric ton of the copper, or 16,000 ton of copper are being extracted worldwide yearly, of which 5,000 around from China, and then 2,000 plus from Peru, and 1,700,000 ton of copper from China. In that case, the Julong, that is the copper mine in Tibet, that is one sixth. So around 154,000 ton, 154,000 ton of copper are being extracted from Tibet, that is 60 kilometer east of Lhasa Julong mine yearly. Okay, it is that powerful. Now I believe there is a company called Zini or something like that. So that company is taking over the mines. Now they are incrementing. So now it is 154,000 ton of copper per year. Now it is increasing it to by some 2025. The expansion will be done, and then it will be around 600,000 ton of copper per year would be extracted from the Tibet, from the set of mines that is around the Zulon. So that is the idea. 600,000 ton of the copper yearly. What about India? So in India around 150,000 of copper, 150,000 of copper, 150,000 ton of copper are being extracted per year. Full country. That is less to the Zulong mines itself. full India country. Okay, and it is around 30th position worldwide in the copper production, and it is 30th, and it is around, if we calculate, then it would come around, I believe, 1% of the worldwide copper production. So that is India, and that is Tibet. So now only Tibet copper production is equivalent to complete India so many mines copper production. Now when the copper production will become 600,000 ton in Zulong mine, then it will be 4 times to the Indian production all alone. So Zulong mine will become the most powerful productive mine around the globe in few years. That is the situation. India import around equal amount of copper what it produces from worldwide. So India is an importer. What is condition of India now? India is a country which import copper. India is a country which import gold. Sometimes it import potato and those things also. Then it imports dry fruits heavily, dates and those things. India is a country which import heavily petroleum product, then allopathic medicine. So India is a country which is huge in import, and only 0.5% of the global export that happens from India. South Africa, if we see India and South Africa relationship among the export, South Africa is much more exported to India than India export to South Africa kind of country. So India has negligible export, only import. So that is the situation. But Indian National Congress, the logo in the election is LPG cylinder, because they know these are beggars and slaves, the Indian people. Just one LPG cylinder, one job, and 8,000 per month in the account, and they would start jumping. Now election is over, and wherever the Congress is victorious in the election, those places people are jumping in their office asking for 1 lakh rupees. Okay, because they promised 1 lakh rupee once they win. So now they are not discussing about LPG cylinder, they are not discussing at all about the job, they are not discussing about the 1 lakh rupees, 8,000 rupees per month in the account. They are not discussing it. Okay, it's not that whatever government is forming, we will pressurize the government to give whatever they can give, then what we can give. There is no discussion about whatever they promise. This is Indian National Congress. But whatever. So this is the situation of the copper in the kind of Tibetan arena. So we will see, we have the complete data of the copper mining in that is happening in China. Okay, so worldwide around 16,890,000 ton of the copper are being produced, and China is 1,700,000 ton. Now, if I talk about the five largest mines, five largest mines they are producing copper in China, then Zulong, that is comes second, and that is in Tibet. Apart from the other four that we can talk in a kind of China, like Dexing, Dexing mine, that is in Zinixi province. So in Zinixi province, Dexing mine, that is around more than 154 uh, thousand ton of the copper yearly it gives. Hello, Heilongjiang Dua Baoshan mines, that is in Heilongjiang province, and 105,000 ton of copper it produces per year. And then we have Yulong mines, so that is 100,000 ton that produces copper per year. Zhe, Zainshan, Zeiz, Zeizinshan gold and copper mine. Okay, so Zeizinshan gold and copper mine, and that produces 86,000 ton of the copper yearly, and it is in Fujian province. Okay, now if we talk about the Zulong mine, so that is near to the Lhasa and it is in Mezo Kungar. So Megho Kungar. So it looks like Indian name. So Megho Kungar. So Megho Kungar county. So it belongs to that county, and around 100,000 ton of the ore it produces per day. Per day, 100,000 ore, and three times. The idea is to increase the ore, copper ore production. Personally, I have seen copper ore, and personally, I have seen extraction plant also, and it is marvelous to visit any copper that is in Simbhum district in Jharkhand, India. So that we will see, and it is mind blowing to visit any copper extraction site where copper first the ore is melted and it flow like a water, and then it is a kind of solidified and then placed in a chemical, and there very high current is flown through the cathode and anode. So this the rockified metal that comes from the ore, that is placed inside inside a electrolyte, and then cathode anode are placed, and then uh, heavy current is flown, I think in 1000 amperes, and very minimal voltage is flown in the cathode and anode, and the copper from the ore they stick to the cathode and anode, and they take out from there. So that is the copper extraction. Gold and those things are generally also available in the copper ore. Anyway, now this is the situation of the Julong mine. So along the Julong area, means in the Megho Kungar area, then there are other sites also like Kulong, Rang Miola, Kulong, Rang Miola, Zinbula. So these are the other copper polymetallic metallic deposits are found. Means copper mountains are there. There they are expanding. Okay, so that is the situation. And Zezin is the company that is taking care, and now it is producing 150,000 ton of the copper per year. Now it is expected to produce 600,000 ton of the copper in few years. By 2025, the expansion of the mines will happen. Now India produces around 155,000 ton of the copper. What are the three big mines in India as far as copper ore is concerned? One is Malanj Khand mines that produces around 17,000 ton of the copper, that is in Madhya Pradesh. Then it is Kolihan mine in Rajasthan, 3,000 ton. Khetri mine in Rajasthan, around 3,000 ton. Banwas mines in Rajasthan, that is underground mines, and that is around 2000 ton. Sudra mines. So these are Rakha mines. These are the area near Ghatsila in Simbhum district in Jharkhand, that personally I have seen those areas. I have lived in those areas. So I am resident of Simbhum district only. Miss, I am not from, do not hail from there, but my complete childhood I have spent in the Simbhum district only. So in and out of the Simbhum district, so each piece of soil and stone I know. So Simbhum district, the Sudra mines, that copper extraction, the factory is there. Personally, inside I have visited, full day I have spent there. So Sudra mines in Jharkhand, it produces around 1.5 thousand ton of the copper every year. So there are many mines around the Sudra mine. So this is the situation of copper, that India import equal amount of copper, around more than 100,000 ton of copper per year, but the area it thought it is of no importance. People in Tibet, they were shedding their blood. There was bloodbath in Tibet from 1951 till 1959, when people were forced to leave their home. They were forced to leave their home and to go a country that they had never seen. Okay, just think about the mentality of the people. Think about their mind condition when anyone is forced to leave your home. Okay, that country which is of no use for India in 1951 to 1959, there is no discussion in the Indian book, Indian history, that thousands and thousands of Tibetan people, they were killed mercilessly in the battle that happened between 1951 to 1959, and that was something that no one had expected. Okay, and always it is a situation that you receive help, you receive support from your enemy neighbor also in those countries. But somehow it did not happen that Tibet produces equal amount of copper as full India produces, and in few years it will be producing four times to the India. Means India would have been exporting copper by now. If what to say?